All righty. So yes, we have an amazing guest today. Are you going to guess who is in this podcast today? Maybe you guess first, then I tell you. Welcome to today's episode of the Relationship Bites with Wendy Ologe. And I'm so excited, that the Relationship Bites is all about relationships at every level, every point. But it's interesting that today we have someone who is going to be sharing with us on the mentor-mentee relationship. Have you guessed who that is? Don't worry, don't guess. But yes, we have the amazing Coach Ruth. Coach Ruth is a boys coach and she is in the building. Coach Ruth is going to be teaching us a lot. So, when you just know someone and you do not know the dimensions that they carry until you meet them in certain areas. I was in a retreat with Coach Ruth recently and I was like, is she the one? Is that she? What happened to her? I've not finished that conversation with her. And yes, it's so exciting to have you here, Ruth. So, so
Thank
exciting.
you, ma'am.
Thank you for honoring me to be here at the podcast
Thank you, ma'am.
today. I love this podcast a lot because it takes us away from parenting. It takes us away from who people think I am to who people do not know that I am. I love it. So thank you, Ruth. Welcome today,
Thank
Ruth.
you, ma'am.
All right. So, Ruth, tell
Thank
us
you so much.
about what you do. I don't want to lump Ruth with being married to Ebuka. So, if you know me, you know that I talk about Ebuka a lot. But you see, today, I am going to intentionally just talk about my dear Ruth. And I hope that she doesn't bring Ebuka into this conversation. All right. So let's go.
Thank you so much, Coach. Wow, wow, wow. I'm so honored. This is a big one for me. A dream come true, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity to be seated with my coach to talk about mentorship. To be seated with my mentor is such a privilege, it's such an honor. And I'm so grateful, Ma. Thank you. So, good day to everyone. Yes, my beautiful name is Ruth. And I am Ruth Ede. I'm a mother. I'm a mentee. Yes. I'm a lover of God and I'm a passionate light bearer.
Hmm.
So I work with boys. I work in the space of boys. And I have girls, yes, but I understand that they will get married to boys. So I work in that space of boys to bring the truth to boys, to bring the light to boys, to be the voice they need, and also help them find their voice while they journey to being correct men. So that's what I do in the world of boys, a woman in the world of boys raising boys. Yes, ma'am.
Amazing. I haven't watched Ruth a lot, in the field. So I got the opportunity to watch her in the field. And I said, who can actually be a better coach to boys than this energetic, amazing young woman? I was just looking at it. I was like, I keep saying, with the people I work with, I said, what you can do, I cannot do. And I watched her and I said, I can't do this thing. I mean, when you're just in your calling, you are in your calling. And that's the amazing thing about what God gives you to do. It just distinguishes you. So if your child, your boy child, is not in that leadership academy, you're wrong. And if you're listening to me, ask me how to get your sons in there. If you know me, you know that I am a shouter of mentorship at every level, right? Both for your children,
Yes.
for you, and everything. So, have you ever mentored anyone before? Tell me about it.
Yes, I have mentored people and I'm still mentoring a whole lot of people, boys and girls alike. So I have mentored people who have come and have gone,
Hmm.
and I've mentored people who have stayed and
Hmm.
who are staying. And it's so beautiful to know that one of my mentees for over 7 years will be getting married at the end of this year.
Oh, that's so
Yes, so it's so beautiful to
nice.
know that I've walked on that journey of mentorship with her right from when she was a teenager up until when she became a young adult And even to the point of getting into a marriage relationship, I've been privileged to walk that journey with her. It's been beautiful, challenging. It challenges me to also grow. Yeah, it challenges me never to remain at the same position that I am. So it challenges me to grow. It also helps me to understand the privilege of playing the life role in another person, holding somebody and then making sure that they get into the best of what God has planned for them to be. So it's always a beautiful journey, one that we hold so dear. We're going to be accountable to God first. So it's so beautiful to know that I'm privileged to work with people through the mentorship journey. Yes, ma'am.
Amazing, amazing. When we started, I told you that Ruth has so when Ruth speaks, I see so much. I don't think she says it. And I'm sure, she knows that, I say that a lot. So recently I was like, stop hiding under the shadow of anybody. You are too much to hide. As in, there's nowhere to hide. There's just too much. Did you listen to her? Did you hear her? And, it's just amazing listening to you, really. So tell us, have you had a mentor before? How has the journey been for you?
Yes, I have had a mentor and I still do have a mentor. The mentorship journey for me has been a stretch. I've been stretched to become, whether I wanted it or whether I didn't want it. One of the beautiful things about my mentorship journey is the fact that my mentor sees what I cannot see. She sees so much in me, and even me, from people. I'm in a relationship that keeps me still as a learner. I'm in a mentorship relationship that helps me remember that I cannot stop. There's so much to do. There's so much why I cannot remain where I am. There's a stretch. There's a call to become more. And it's such a beautiful relationship for me because I don't only hear the voice of my mentor, I watch the every moves of my mentor. Sometimes I'm not being told what to do. I watch and I know what to do. And by all means, I do what I need to do. So the mentorship relationship I have with my mentor is so beautiful because sometimes I meet with her and I cry. Very few times I laugh. Many times I meet with her and I cry and I go back home and I'm like, God, do I want to do this? I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. Please, I don't want to do it again. But then I just know that meeting her for this mentor I'm talking about, my current mentor, I've met her for my marriage is 7 years. So I've met her for about 6 years of my life. And I've actively been involved in the mentorship relationship with her for no more than 3 years. Actively. I've been that student's mentee, the one that just sits to learn and never does anything with what they are learning. I've been the schemer, the one that will come, hit the relationship, go out again, hit the relationship, go out. But for the past 3 years, I would say I am becoming a son. I am learning to stay. I am learning to listen. Does it hurt? Yes. Is it painful many times? Yes. Are the instructions weighty? Yes. But have I grown so much? Have I become so much? Am I making progress so much? I discovered that just listening to my mentor, getting up to do what she tells me to do, has given me the speed that I would not have gotten even in 20 years. What I have done in just 3 years with myself, is something that I don't think if you put all my 33 years together, I will have accomplished what I have accomplished with just 3 years of working actively as a son and not as a schemer or as a student.
I like that part. As a son and not just as a schemer or student. You know, I told you that Ruth has a lot. As in, when she's talking, I don't know whether I'm seeing myself inside or, as in, sometimes I'm talking to her, I'm like, this babe, what are you? As in, she's so, as in, there's so much in her that even you see how quiet I was listening. I couldn't even say yes. Yeah, when someone is talking and you're able to say, yes, that's it. That means you're not even, it hasn't gotten to you yet. And when someone is talking and you are quiet, like you are dazed, like you don't even know where to, take the word from. That's how I just, felt just listening to Ruth. And, as Ruth was talking about this mentor of hers, I was wondering, this must be an amazing person. But let's leave this mentor alone so that we can just, continue talking about mentorship, and all of that. Maybe at the end of the podcast, you will get to understand who's Ruth's mentor is, and then maybe how she has been able to walk her journey. I really love her sharing this journey. I am getting so much insight myself from this journey, and it's so amazing. All right. And how can people find suitable mentors? How can they, in their area of field, in their area of interest, how would they be able to find it? And what are the benefits that mentors and mentees, because I believe that even mentors derive benefits from their mentees. Many of the time, I don't know about you, but I have mentees, and it's like an army. And sometimes I'm like, no, all I just need to do is to just call this person and it is done. Like, it's a bragging right for me. And many times I am so excited because I want my mentees to grow so much that they grow bigger than me, because I actually want them to do things I can't do. As in, I want them to be so powerful that I become, because I believe that that's where my own power will come from, really. Because I just want to look and I say, nah, do you know how many people that are in this circle that will be able to do these things? So for me, I love the benefits that even mentors derive from, a mentee. It's amazing. So many people do not realize or recognize it. All right. We think that mentorship is about being on top and everybody, bowing, on your feet, and then everybody just being small. No, I believe that if I mentor someone and you're not bigger than I am, in fact, I'm upset when I see you not being able to do things that I haven't been able to do. It upsets me. Like, why are you not that big? There are a lot of things that my mentees have done that I've never done. And when they come to me, I'm like, if you're not doing more than me, then I'm not the one mentoring you. What's happening? So Ruth, tell us how do you think, what's the benefits on both sides? And how do people find mentors? A lot of people come to me and say, can you be my mentor? And I really do not understand. But how do you find that mentor? What are the things to look out for?
Okay, so the first thing I'm going to say, especially to those listening, is that a mentor is called. There's something my mentor always says, and it sits with me so much. She says, I'm not called to everybody. She says, I know those I'm called to. I want us to understand that a mentor is called. How do you find a mentor? While we pray, and we're like, oh God, I want a mentor, and all that, and you desire it. Another thing I really need us to do is to remain within reach. A lot of people desire things, but they are not within reach to be found. Now, you need a mentor in a particular field, and you are somewhere else. You're not around that area where you need that particular, you need a mentor in, for example, you want to do something with the girls. You need a mentor in that field, and you are following somebody that is a farmer. It doesn't tally. You are not within reach. You must make sure that you are at the point where your prayers that you have been praying, the desires that you have can be met. So, and we have a lot of things available to us. The media is available to us. I wonder why some people say that they are looking for mentors and the people they are following does not look like where they are going. How do you expect to find your mentor? Now you have prayed. God is going to place you at the point where you will find that person. You don't say, I need a mentor. and you are following people that are doing all manner of things, you look for people in that field. Stay there, follow them, remain there, keep listening until this is where the Spirit of God comes in now. The Spirit of God by himself will make you understand or know that this is the person. And guess what? When you go to the person, your mentor will know. Your mentor will also know if you are them. So for those of us that are blackmailing mentors, you are blackmailing and say, you don't want to mentor me. It doesn't work that way. God speaks to you, God speaks to the mentor.
Yeah.
So sometimes you go to the mentor and the person just lets you know, see the one called to you. There is no need for offense. There is no need to get angry. Go and pray very well.
Yeah.
And go and remain there until you find the right person for you. And that if you follow the wrong person, you will never move. You will be going round and round and round, but you will never make progress and you will never find fulfillment. Yes, ma'am. So you find your mentor, remain there, you have prayed, you desire, stay in the place where you can be reached until you find the person.
Amazing.
And then I think the next question talks about benefit.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, the benefits.
Okay, yes. The next question, benefits in mentorship for both the mentor and the mentee. I want to say something. I want to say that light you up and never loses their own light. The mentor, so what? Okay. Can I be heard?
Yes, you can continue again. Start from the question on the relationship.
Okay. The question says the benefits from the and the men benefits do they get from the relationship?
Yes.
And I started by saying that a mentor is a person that lights you up and never loses. So they are called to light you up, but their light is constant. So it is a lighted world. The world is going to be okay. So we're talking about the benefits of the relationship for both the mentor and the mentee.
Yes.
And I want us to understand that the mentor is a person that lights you up and never loses their own light. The reason for that is so both of you can shine. So for me, the first benefit for both the mentor and the mentee is that there's going to be light everywhere. There's going to be light everywhere. And then I want to say it this way. Another benefit that I have experienced is that the voice of the mentor will be heard in the voice of the mentee for bigger impacts. The voice of the mentor is going to be heard in the voice of the mentee for bigger impacts. So what the mentee does is that he or she takes the voice of the mentor and travels very far, possibly to a place the mentor may never get to in their lifetime. But what is going to be speaking is the voice of the mentor. So the mentee is like a train carrying the voice of the mentor and going very, very, very far with it. So for me, that's a whole lot of benefit for the mentor. You're going to make bigger impact because you may never be seen, but your voice will be heard in places that your foot will never or may never step into. So that's a whole lot of benefit for both the mentor and for the mentee as well.
Amazing. Amazing. I like the description of the train. You know, I don't know if you've ever, yesterday night I was watching a movie and it was a moving train. Everything was done in a train. And it just gives, light to what it is that Ruth just shared now. And so much light to the benefit of being a mentor and also being a mentee. So it's a mutual relationship that benefits both sides. Many people have actually misinterpreted this whole system to mean that the moment you become a mentor, you are the one that the mentee is the one that receives, you don't receive. That's not true. There's a lot for you. This goes to people who are, who are patterns, who are the people who are setting the tones and all of that as a mentor, and even as you're mentored, you are also a mentor to so many people. And that's one of the things that I tell people. If they are mentoring, you are not mentoring another person. There's something wrong with that thing that you're doing. So your light is supposed to shine and shine and shine, and that's it. And, it just lights up the world. So it's not a place of, I am the mentor, I am supposed to be bigger, or it's supposed to be smaller. All right. Every time people will ask me that, how come, you've grown, this, and all of that. I would say mentorship is one of the things that have brought me this far. So I've converted 20 years of struggles of people that I've looked at, and I've converted it to few years. And every time when I speak to my mentees, I say to them, you will convert my struggles to success. And you don't need to struggle. You don't need to walk that road again. I have walked the road for you. And if I have walked the road for you, why do you need to walk it again? Why am I your mentor? Why am I the one that have been placed in your life? That road has been walked. You do not need to struggle it. If I couldn't do something in 5 years, and I'm telling you, you can do it in 1 year. I've walked the road. I've suffered the suffer. Don't come and suffer it again. It's okay. And you can do it. And that's the only thing. It's just that I didn't know how to navigate it in my time. But you can see an example. So you don't need to walk that far anymore. Thank you again, Ruth. I love, this session of the benefits. Now, there are challenges with mentorship, mentee relationship. I want you to share on the challenges. Being somebody who has been actively mentored, in a system, and have actively mentored people. I think my choice of guest is just apt. Someone who is mentoring actively and someone who is being mentored actively. So she's not sitting on the fence. I am mentoring people consistently and I'm being mentored. I'm sure that there will be challenges that you have encountered, both as a mentee and also as a mentor. Yeah. Please share with us.
Yes, there are a lot of
navigate them as well.
There are a lot of challenges in this. The first one I want to talk about is the point where the mentee begins to react negatively to the greatness of the mentor. It's always very subtle, especially when the mentee is also touching a level of greatness. Especially when you're growing, you're getting results, there is subtly a tendency to forget that you're coming from somewhere. You begin to touch greatness and abundance and begin to question quietly in the heart the authority of the mentor. And it's something that I see even in my own mentorship relationship with people that I mentor. The point where a mentee is growing, and growth is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Growth can be distracting, actually.
Yep.
So, when the mentee is growing, it's actually the desire of the mentor for you to grow.
Yeah.
But sometimes when the mentee is growing and have grown, he gets to a point, he begins to measure up with the mentor. That can become a challenge. That can become a serious challenge. And I think is an aspect that every mentee needs to pay attention to. The moment you begin to react negatively or question the greatness of your mentor, you are losing track. You are seriously losing track. And you see this thing, they may not say it. It may just be somewhere in the heart. It may just be happening quietly in the heart. And what does she feel like? I can even say this thing better than her. I can even do this thing. Rebellion sets in. And so a lot of times you see mentees who were very humble in nothing become so arrogant in abundance.
Yeah.
It's a big issue in the mentorship and mentee relationship. Another thing that can become a challenge is, especially for those who have, by privilege, who have access. You must be careful not to abuse access. It's so easy to abuse access. And, I talked about mentees that blackmail their mentor. Please stop the emotional blackmail. It will not work. When your mentor, for some reason, may not have the time or the space to spend with you as usual, it becomes a matter. And before, she used to have my time. What has changed? What suddenly happened? Why is she no longer? What is she feeling like? You are abusing access.
Yeah.
And anybody who abuses the access or the voice of a mentor, you will end up in the pit. You can't go far. That's the truth. You can't go far. So a major challenge that I have seen that has caused a lot of disconnection is the mentee's inability to manage greatness. The mentee's inability to manage abundance. You become bigger than your mentor. A son never becomes bigger than the father.
Yeah.
No matter how much the son learns, no matter the level of education or knowledge the son gains, he must understand that there's still a place for submission under the father. And that's where I say a lot of people do the scheming thing, the hit and run. They come, hey, they're under pressure to become. They're under pressure, especially because a lot of mentees are following for the wrong reason. A lot of mentees are following for the wrong reason. One of the things we need to keep checking, why am I following this woman? In fact, this morning I had asked myself, why am I even following? What exactly is the reason why I'm following? So that when I become, will I still remain? The mentorship system is a staying system. It's not the hit and run.
Child.
You stay there. No matter what you become, you remain there. Remember, I said the mentor is called. So if a mentor is called to you and you have opportunity of a lifetime with that person, where are you running to? Where are you running to? A lot of times people run and come back. They hit, they run, and they come back. Learn to stay. Learn to become a son, not just a schemer or the ones that settle. The ones that settle are those ones that they want to learn, but they are never reflecting the personality, the wisdom of the life of the man. I used to be like that. Honestly, I'm going to be I used to be like that. I can learn, I can write, I have the gift of writing. I will write, I have note upon note upon note, writing, but I was never reflecting what I was learning. I was never. And on my own, I started rebelling. On my own, I started questioning the authority of my mentor. When the mentor says something, I want to question, why should he be like that? Am I not an adult? Can't I? I started questioning and there was a disconnect. So the mentee must get ready to learn how to manage abundance, learn how to manage greatness, and learn to stay as a son. The system is a staying system and not the hit and run system.
The system is a staying system and not a hit and run system. I don't know about you. At the time, I had to bring out my book. So my book had to help me in this conversation because I had to write. I usually say that if I'm listening and I'm not writing, it's as if I really do not understand. As in, like, I had to just bring my book and say, what did I just hear? I don't know if you heard what I heard, but I've heard. And me, when I hear, I run. I don't just hear. I hear, I reflect on what it is that I'm hearing, and then I move. I've learned something really. I don't know if you heard it. Ruth said the mentorship system is a staying system. It's not a scheming system. It's not a settling system. I love the part where you were talking about settling. Many people actually stay, but they settle. So they're two different things. Say, hey, but I've been here. I've been with you for 6 years. It's different. And in settling, like she mentioned, subtle rebellion actually comes in settling. Because you're not becoming, you're not reflecting that person. So, at the time, because you've settled, You just be like, this thing, self, I beg, must it be this way? You know, we've done this thing before. Why must he now be told like this? And it just goes on and on, on and on. And before you know it, you have settled. You know, I teach in the inner circle program, and one of the teachings I was teaching, I said there's something called settling in success. And for those of us who already have success, there's a tendency to settle. You know, especially when you're raising, you know, high-flying children. I know because I am. So you get to a point where you're looking at your children, you're like, they've been there, done that. What's there else to do? You know, and, you know, this thing, I don't need to learn anything else. And you do not even know that managing success is a thing, even for a child. The same thing in mentorship. You know, you become, you know, the person have taught you, you now, you don't, you become so big. And then you just feel, all these things, I'm even doing things that she's not even doing. I'm even bigger self. There are even things that I'm even doing. So I have even gone past it. I was listening to Bishop David and he said, is it because I have 50,000 tents that when Keneko plan I will now respond? As who? You know, it struck me. What he was trying to say is, yes, I've achieved greatness. Yes, I have become this person, but I'm still not bigger than my mentor. No, I'm not. So don't put me in a place where you think that I have to be bigger. You know, many of the times you hear people say, but I've outgrown that mentor. And,
yes.
You know, and I'm thinking, what does that mean? You know, what was that mean? I remember my mentor calling me to come and do clarity session with him. I was like, clarity session, sir. I studied for like 2 days trying to do clarity. I didn't know what it is what was asking of me. I didn't know. I sat down there. He said, you know, you have built a system that is massive. Then as I was saying it, I was afraid for myself because I was asking myself, what does he want me to say? I was still in awe of the greatness that he has. Trust me, it is beyond your achievement. So it wasn't about what I achieved. Talk about achievement. You probably say you have achieved more, but have I? Or is it just about having things and about being? I'm reading on the experiences and the wisdom and the powers this person possessed. And that is what it is that I'm standing on. So imagine I remove all of that because according to me, I do not need to stand on anything anymore. The foundation scatters and that's it. And that's it. And then you are now off the chart. And you are now wondering to yourself, what happened to me? That's why
what happened to me?
Yes, that's why people grow, and at some point you see them. They're just crashing. All right? They're just crashing. They do not understand what it means, you know, to actually be mentored. I am particularly enjoying this conversation, really, because this conversation there's so much light in it. All right. There's so much, so much light in it because we need to actually look at the lights. We need to look at the things that we're doing. We need to begin to look at mentorship differently.
Yes.
So that we do things differently as well. Because if we don't, we're going to do it the same way we have done it over the years. And over the years, there have been a lot of, you know, destructions and all of the things that have happened and all of that. Thank you so much, Ruth, again, as we begin to ask the last part of the questions. All right. As we just, you know, round of, I feel like just talking and talking and listening to Ruth. Who else wants to listen to Coach Ruth for like the next 20 hours? And in fact, I will bring her to listen to her more because there's just so much she has to give. All righty. So yes, you know, as we begin to talk about the ending part of this, you know, point, that, you know, the next question was about fostering communication. But I think Ruth has given an apt answer to cover that particular question. So we'll go to the next. Can you share a memorable mentorship experience or success story that illustrated the power of mentorship in your life as an adult?
Yes. Okay, so maybe this is where I'll call the name of my mentor. It is at this point that we unveil. So my mentor is no other person, but the person with whom I have the honor to do this, Coach Wendy herself. That's my mentor. And like I said, I've been in it unofficially by marriage for many years. But then when I saw the need for it, nobody woke me up from my sleep. I got up and I started running with it. And I want to share this particular experience. Now, I've had the privilege of access. And for me, access is one thing I honor. I don't joke with it. I thought I was going to be asked the question of communication because I wanted to say that to communicate effectively, don't abuse access. I wanted to really hammer on that because a lot of times I see mentees, even of mine, who just pick up their phone and then they just call me, hello, I just want to know how you are doing. How are you? Are you fine? I'm like, what is this? You know? And I see a lot of us doing it. And the moment your mentor does not respond, you say, oh, my mentor is proud. What is she feeling like? You are the one that have a problem and you need to deal with the problem before it kills you. Because one of the things you must look out for is never to abuse access. Honor it. Honor it. And someone once said that honor has a voice. I totally agree with that. Honor has a voice. You can't say, oh, I honor this person. I honor this person. I like the way she talks, but I hate her. You can't get the best out of your mentor. I honor her. I honor the grace upon, we always say, I honor the grace of God upon your life, but you hate the carrier of that grace. And so in places where your mentor is not, people are talking about your mentor and you're quiet. People are saying negative things and you are listening and taking it in. You are not being real. You are not being sincere. You go to the face of your mentor, you try to be a different person, you go outside and you are another person entirely. You are abusing the relationship. Guess what? A mentor who is called knows your heart. The moment you come, they can feel what is happening inside of your heart. So when you come with a mask, because a lot of times, especially women, we come with a mask. You carry a look just to get the attention of the mentor. Let me also say, buying gifts for the mentor is beautiful, but the first place of honor is that you honor the voice of your mentor. You honor the voice of your mentor. That brings me to what I want to share. So there's something Coach said I should not talk about my husband, but I'll talk about my husband small. There's something we've been trying to do for so long. But we have the solution without knowing. So for years, we have been praying, believing God, fast, a lot of things to get through to this particular thing. But one of the days we decided what is happening. And I also would say to those who have so many fathers, so many people mentoring you. Tomorrow you are with Coach B. Next tomorrow you are with Coach C. You can't make anything strong or valid from that kind of relationship. You can't submit to everybody and expect to get direction. You can't. It's never going to work. You will be moving, but you will not be making progress. You'll be going round and round and round and round. You will never make progress. The moment we decided and said, let's go to our mentors. Let's bring this issue before them. And we went. And I was even the one. I went straight with my mentor. I got the privilege of going to his I call it the holies of holies. I entered there. And then we got talking. And you know the thing about this, my mentor, you'll be talking and there's the way she looks at you. You can't even lie. You will arrange. And I was just talking and I was saying my heart. I was ready to pour my heart. I was ready to tell her everything, the way it was doing me, the way, And I talked and I told her, and it was just a word that fixed me. I've been battling with that thing for 7 years. A word fixed it. And guess what the word was? A lot of people will be thinking, oh, she did not encourage us. She told us we are indisciplined. It's not encouragement. It's not encouragement at all. You know, sometimes we don't like to hear no. But I have come to realize that rejection and no is sometimes very good for me.
Mm.
I went to her and I was telling her, expecting her to call us to say, pamper me and pat me on the back and say, oh no, you are doing well. She said, you are not disciplined. It is indiscipline that is worrying both of you. You are not disciplined. Remember, we are coaches. So you are not disciplined. And she talked, but I tell you the truth and I lie not. You see that word, you are indisciplined. It has reset my brain. It has reset me. Sometimes I'm doing something and I'm hearing, you are indisciplined. You are not disciplined. This is not discipline. This is not discipline. And I arrange myself. There are certain things, certain milestones I wanted to hit personally just by running with the simple instruction from my mentor. Running and not listening to anybody. Looking at where I'm going, running with the words of my mentor. I have become. In no time from now, I am sure people will see another me. Because what is in the pipeline, even me say, I am, you know, I always say, and some women will know me, the masterpiece women, a lion cannot give birth to a goat.
Yes,
in fact, it has become a song. There are things, instructions that we have received. There are lessons we have gained just by watching. Recently, I told someone, I said, hi, resuming 8 o'clock is very late. My mentor did not tell me to resume by 7:30, but I heard her say she leaves her house by 6:30. Excuse me, your mentor will not say everything. She will not say everything, but she's ready to give everything. She used to say, some things are caught. Me, I'm catching. And as I'm catching, I'm moving. So there are just things, my life has gained direction. There's been things that has turned around in my life. There were things I used to do, thinking they were correct. But now, in fact, I used to say, God, thank you I found the mentor early, because I actually found her really early. My life has changed. My family can feel the difference. My husband can touch the difference. Before, I used to be the one to question why now, why now. Now, before he says, hey, me, I've moved. I've moved straight. Why? Because I honor every word from my mentor. And I understand that she's God speaking to me. Whatever anybody will make out of that, I don't know, but it is what it is.
Amazing, amazing. You know, as Ruth was sharing this part, I was wondering who she was talking about. I don't know if you felt the same way. But you know, when she said it, I was like, actually, did I say that to her? But I guess I did. And really, so Ruth is one person I am so proud of. So apart from being that I have mentored Ruth's husband for a while, it is that I saw her and I said, this one, I've called her. She's under me. She's my handbag. She doesn't know it. I just said it, you know, in past. I said she doesn't know it many years ago. But you know, you don't have to force it. When the person is called to you, I keep saying that when you're called to someone, it will become clear as you're going, you know. And I always say that I'm not called to everybody. I'm not afraid to say no to mentorship. I'm not afraid to say I cannot. It doesn't make you an enemy. It doesn't mean that I don't like you. But it's beyond just, for me, I've come to a place where I recognize and realize that it's just beyond surface. I want to be your, I don't need to mentor me. You know, when I see those, but I get like, I want you to mentor me every day of my life in 365 days in my inbox. I want you to mentor me. I want you to mentor me. I'm like, yeah, it's a good thing. It means that your life is reflecting. But beyond that, I'm not carried away. I'm not carried away with the numerous, I want you to mentor me, because mentorship is beyond just, you know, just saying it. You know, I was somewhere and some people were talking about Papa, that's Bishop Davido Oyedepo. And, you know, they were like, all these messages. And if you see the way, in fact, the person said that the way I reacted, she has never seen me react that way before. And this is talking this in for somebody who have known me for years. In fact, I reacted in such a way that you'll be thinking, what did I say? It's just normal conversation. I say, no, you don't have normal conversations about my mentor where I am. When you're done, go and talk it to another person. For me, according to Bishop Oedebo, he said, even in death, I have honored Archbishop Benson in Dahusa. Even in death. That's how much it goes. That's how far it goes. I know I heard it and it struck me. The person doesn't need to be there. It is beyond being there. There was something very profound that Ruth said that, he said, a mentor who is called knows your heart. And that's the truth. Don't think that you're playing gimmicks around the mentor who is called. You are not playing any gimmicks. They can see. They might just be, with you and just be smiling, but they can see through, especially if they really have a connection with the Holy Spirit, or they can really see what it is that they are doing. I want to stay here listening to Ruth, listening. And I tell you again, Ruth is a powerful person. She can't see what I can see, but I can see it beyond what she can see. And, I cannot wait for that season where we're just going to see boom, boom, boom. One of those days I called her. I said, stop hiding behind a man. She just looked at me like...
blanket of marriage.
Stop hiding. You are inside the blanket of marriage. Come out of that blanket. I don't want it to cover you. It was such a funny conversation. But, we've really, really had an amazing, interesting conversation with an interesting relationship with Ruth. Ruth has access to me, like access. And you will find, now when she was talking about it, saying, oh, you called your mentor, and the mentor say, hello, how are you? Ruth, I don't think Ruth have chatted me before. Now that I'm thinking of it.
I cannot.
She has never chatted me before, ever.
Cannot.
And she has never called me before. Like, I'm thinking about it now. And I'm like, okay, this is so true. Like, what did she just say? Thank you again, Ruth, for sharing this part with us. Now, where do you see the future of mentorship headed, particularly in the context of what it is that you do and where it is, that you're going in the future as we begin to conclude?
Yeah, for me, I think mentorship is the next big thing. For me, mentorship is the next big thing. Mentorship prepares anyone ready for the palace. For me, I see this and I remember the Mordecai-Esther relationship. I remember that relationship so well. Mordecai saw something ahead of Esther. He prepared Esther for the palace. And even while Esther was in the palace, if you read that scripture very well, you realize that the connection, the relationship was still there.
Yeah.
The submission, the authority of Mordecai over Esther was still there while she was in the palace. Anybody who will make it to the throne must be willing, ready to go through the process of mentorship. Mentorship is a lifelong relationship. Anybody who will remain on the throne must be ready to stay in mentorship. Trust me, if you're jumping from one relationship to another because you saw this person as the reigning person, you're jumping from here to there, you don't have direction, and there are tendencies that you will not remain on the throne. Mentorship is the next big thing. Remember that what we are doing is not just to get in, but to remain. Anybody who is going to remain on the throne, anybody who is going to remain as a king and have the staff of authority, you must be ready to be the Esther and follow through the process with Mordecai. What does the future hold? The future holds something for kings, but some people may start off as kings and end up as slaves. The choice is ours to make.
Whoa. As Ruth was speaking, I just heard the Mordecai system, mentorship. It's the Esther Mordecai system. Wow. What was that? What did I just hear? So I don't know about you. I am recording this podcast and I'm writing. I have a full note on just listening to Ruth. This is This is just amazing. I'm going to sit down to listen to this again, and I'm sure that you will listen to this again and again. I'm going to play this for my teenage children to listen to, because I want them to understand the effect. I want them to understand what it means to be mentored. I do not want them to trivialize mentorship relationship, because, like Ruth said, if you're going to remain on the throne, you must understand the mentorship system. If not, you can actually ascend the throne and then become a slave. I think that that's, for me, that's the hit point, and that's the highlight for me. Thank you so much again, Coach Ruth of the
Thank you, ma'am.
Voice Leadership Academy. Coach Ruth
with
her husband, Coach Ebuka, at the Voice Leadership Academy, where they mentor thousands of boys from all over the world. Who would have been the better person to talk about mentorship than someone who is mentoring thousands, and then also in a successful mentee-mentorship relationship? I tell you, Ruth has a successful relationship with me. There is even no gainsaying about that. And yes, and you know, in recent times, the other day I was afraid that I was going to begin to love her more than I love her husband. Oh, I don't want that to happen. But really, I love them so much. I love them both. You know, I love them. I love what it is that they represent. I love what it is that they do. I am proud. You know, when you come out and you say, oh, I'm proud. I'm proud. You just, I say, just God. If you see what I'm talking about, then it's like, who are these people? I am proud. So, so proud.
Thank you, ma. Thank you, ma.
Thank you again, Ruth, for joining me today.
Thank you so much, ma. Thank you, Coach.
Right with Wendy Ologe. I am going to bring you back because this cannot just, it just can't end. Ruth has so much to offer. She's the one that will talk about boys when we're talking about boys, relationships. You know, mother and boys, it will be amazing. I am looking forward to it. Thank you, Ruth.
Thank you, ma. Thank you so much, ma, for the honor. I'm honored. Thank you so much, ma. And I love you, Coach Wendy.
Love you too. All right, so bye. See you again in the next 2 weeks.